Shalom, Shabbat Shalom is the seventh day of the week. We set a birthday to Yahuwah. Beloved, I want to tell you that there is something very interesting that, what I do every morning. I told you I open on a random scripture. And that's what I do first thing after I pray to Yahuwah. But many times, if I open on Ezekiel, I open or on chapter 3 or on the chapter 33. And I was thinking, why is this? There is an important message. Are those two chapters connected? And believe me, they are. For very strange reason, people say, oh, well, before there was no numbers. Like we did not have the chapters in the original Paleo Hebrew. There was no numbers of the chapters and verses. It was all one. And they did that later on. Believe me, beloved. Even that they are numbered now, that the chapters are numbered, that they have verses, it's purpose of Yahuwah also. Even if those things been done after and by men, those things happened, that the scriptures were edited this way and sorted this way, Yahuwah also is in charge of those things. It's no random thing. It's not coincident that the chapter 3 Ezekiel, it is connected with chapter 33. They're very important part. I need you. Yahuwah needs you, not me, to understand, to take that to your heart. The message from those two chapters. And I believe I opened them today, not just for nothing, just because it was coincident. So I'm going to read Ezekiel 3 now. And I ask Yahuwah to guide us. So the word will speak to us. And that will be guided through the Ruach of truth and life. And I'm asking Yahuwah, and I'm thank you, and I'm honored to be your servant, to serve you. It's not for my own, not for my own esteem or for my own boast, but only for your and for your desire, for your plan, for your desire, for your boasting, for your esteem. And I boast in you only, Yahuwah, in your arm of deliverance. And you witness that is not my desire. And you witness to that because you hear all things, what we're saying, and you see all things, all our doings. So thank you, Yahuwah. And I'm reading now. And I pray to Yahuwah in YAHUAH'S name always. Okay. And he said to me, Son of man, eat what you find. Eat the scroll and go speak to the house of Israel. And I opened my mouth. And he fed me with the scroll. And he said to me, Son of man, feed your stomach and fill your stomach with the scroll that I'm giving you. And I ate. And I ate it, and it was as sweet as honey in my mouth. And he said to me, Son of man, go to the house of Israel, and shall speak to them with my words. For you are not sent to the people of foreign speech and of difficult language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of foreign speech and of difficult language, whose words you do not understand. If I had rather sent you to them, they would have listened to you. But the house of Israel is going to refuse to listen to you, for they refuse to listen to me. For all the house of Israel are hard of head and hard of heart. See, I shall make your face as hard as their faces, and your forehead as hard as their foreheads, like adamant stone, harder than flint. I should make your forehead. Do not be afraid of them, nor be discouraged at their looks, for they are rebellious hearts. And he said to me, Son of man, receive into your heart all my words that I speak to you, and hear with your ears. And go, come to the exiles, to the children of your people, and speak to them, and say to them, Thus said Adonai Yahuwah, whether they hear or whether they refuse. And the Ruach lifted me up, and behind me I heard the sound of great rumbling voice. Blessed be the esteem of Yahuwah from his place. And the sound of the wings of the living creatures touching one another, and the sound of the wheels beside them, and the sound of the great rushing. And the Ruach lifted me and took me away, and I went in bitterness, in the heat of my Ruach, while the hand of Yahuwah was strong upon me. And it came to the exiles of Tel Aviv, who were dwelling by the river Kebar, and I sat where they were sitting, and sat there, stand among them 7 days. And it came to be at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel, and you shall hear a word from my mouth, and shall warn them from me. When I say to the wrong, you shall certainly die, and you have not warned him, nor spoken to warn the wrong from his wrong way, to save his life, the same wrong man shall die in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand. But if you have warned the wrong, and he does not turn from his wrong, nor from his wrong way, he shall die in his crookedness, and you have delivered your being. And when a righteous one turns from his righteousness, and should do unrighteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because you did not warn him, he shall die in his sin, and in his righteousness which he has done is not remembered. It's not remembered. And his blood I require at your hand. But if you have warned the righteous, one that is righteous, the one that the righteous should not sin, and he did not sin, he shall certainly live, because he has been warned, and you have delivered your being. And the hand of Yahuwah came upon me there, and he said to me, Arise, go out into plain, so that I might speak to you there. So I got up and went out into the plain, and see, the esteem of Yahuwah stood there, like the esteem which I saw by the river Kebar, and I fell on my face. And the Ruach entered me, and set me on my feet, and spoke with me, and said to me, Go, shut yourself inside the house. And you, O son of man, see, they shall put cords on you, and bind you with them, so that you do not go out in their midst. And I make your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth, so that you shall be dumb, and not be reproved to them, for they are rebellious house. But when I speak with you, I open your mouth, and you shall say to them, Thus said Adonai Yahuwah, He who hears, let him hear, and he who refuses, let him refuse, for they are a rebellious house. Wow. So we just read, I made the video which was the previous one. It was Ezekiel 33, and now we read Ezekiel 3. So beloved, I'm warning you. And you won't hear. If I speak to you in a foreign language, if I speak to you in a difficult speech, and I will speak to you the way you won't be able to understand, because it's not from you, it's not uh, from your place where you live. It's foreign to you. I'm shut in this house. I've been shut in my house for 2 years. Now will be close to 2 years because of my injury. Because my spine problems, and I stuck to my bed, and I did lay on one side for 3 months. I could not move on the other side because of the pain. I could not go outside and speak about anything. I was here with Yahuwah all the time. And I'm still not perfect. I tell you, most of the time I lay in bed. I'm not going out. I do shopping online. I don't know why, but I can see this. But when I speak, I don't speak from my own. But when I speak of what Yahuwah tells me to speak to you. And if you hear, you will hear. But if you refuse, you will refuse. But I will speak to you, because I don't want your blood on my head. If you listen and you turn from your ways, you will be saved and you will live. But if you don't, you will die in your sin. Yahuwah doesn't have a pleasure to anyone to die, and he doesn't wish anyone to die. So turn from your ways. Do right thing. Focus on Yahuwah. Walk his ways. Let Yahushua live in you. Do what is right to him. Obey his commands. Obey his voice. Not your own commands which you make for yourself, which you justify your behavior by it. And you say that this is pleasing Yahuwah. Is that in 10 Commandments? If that's what you do is a part of 10 Commandments, that's okay. Check this. If that what you do is part of the 10 Commandments, then you do his will. But if it's not, it's your desire, your worthy desire, your aspirations, your plans, what you want to do tomorrow, what you want to buy. Maybe you want to get some new furniture, or some new plants for your garden. I'm not saying you can't, but is that what you are consumed by? Your mind and your heart? It should not be this way. If you're his, he should be the time when you wake up in the morning, the time when you go to bed, the time when you walk, when you cook, when you speak, when you walk around, when you cook, when you clean, when you breathe. Anything you do, he should be first. He should be always with you. He should be the only one which is filling you, consuming all yourself. Then you will know what it is like to be with him. Then you will know how it is to be in a relationship with Yahuwah. And you will do what he wants you to do, because he will live in you. Otherwise, you are doing what you want, and you're justifying your behavior. You're justifying your ways. You're justifying, you're thinking, okay, you're saying things like, oh yeah, Yahuwah doesn't mind, or I have the relationship with Yahuwah. This is nothing wrong with it. You try to justify things you do and put him there and place him and say it's true that he wants it or he likes it or he's not against it. Do what he asks you to do, no more, no less. Walk his ways. And the commandments are really, really only two main commandments, which the 10 commandments are just making, easier for you to sort of get together. But they saying to love Yahuwah and love the neighbor as yourself. I will speak to you just because I don't want to have your blood on my hand. And I'll speak to you. See, I even learned this language. Yahuwah wants me to learn English. I didn't know why I have to learn, why I came to Australia, why I had to learn this language. Now I know. To speak to you, to warn you. I'm nothing, I'm a tool. I live to serve Yahuwah. I've been shut like Yahuwah shut me in this house. Or I've been shuttered in my place for so long. I'm not going out to speak because I only speak what he tells me to speak. I'm only focused on him. See how that works? When he puts his word in my mouth, then I speak. But I'm nothing. I'm not better than you or anyone else, anyone. I'm not better or worse. I'm just a tool. I'm his servant. And I'm nothing more or less than that. I don't have my own desires, beloved. Have a beautiful Shabbat and think about those 2 chapters. Ezekiel 3 and Ezekiel 33. They are deeply connected and you should take that really seriously. Yahuwah bless. Shabbat Shalom.